When something is important enough, you do it even if the odds are not in your favor. I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. Persistence is very important. You should not give up unless you are forced to give up. Some people don't like change, but you need to embrace change if the alternative is disaster. If something's important enough, you should try, even if the probable outcome is failure. I could either watch it happen or be a part of it. Failure is an option here. If things are not failing, you are not innovating enough. The first step is to establish that something is possible. Then probability will occur. It's okay to have your eggs in one basket as long as you control what happens to that basket. What makes innovative thinking happen? I think it's really a mindset. You have to decide. Great companies are built on great products. Work like hell. I mean, you just have to put in 80 to 100-hour weeks every week. People work better when they know what the goal is and why. You shouldn't do things differently just because they're different. They need to be better. I always invest my own money in the companies that I create. The path to the CEO's office should not be through the CFO's office, and it should not be through the marketing department. It needs to be through engineering and design. You have to be pretty driven to make it happen. Otherwise, you will just make yourself miserable. You have to say, well, why did it succeed where others did not? I don't create companies for the sake of creating companies, but to get things done. I think that's the single best piece of advice. Constantly think about how you could be doing things better and questioning yourself. If you get up in the morning and think the future is going to be better, it is a bright day. Otherwise, it's not. My biggest mistake is probably weighing too much on someone's talent and not someone's personality. The tough thing is figuring out what questions to ask, but once you do that, the rest is really easy. The only thing that makes sense is to strive for greater collective enlightenment. If you're co-founder or CEO, you have to do all kinds of tasks you might not want to do. I don't believe in process. In fact, when I interview a potential employee and he or she says that it's all about the process, I see that as a bad sign. I think most of the important stuff on the internet has been built. I could either watch it happen or be part of it. Talent is extremely important. It's like a sports team. The team that has the best individual player will often win, but then there's a multiplier from how those players work together and the strategy they employ. You want to be extra rigorous about making the best possible thing you can. Find everything that's wrong with it and fix it. You have to be hardcore. You have to work like hell. Put in 80 to 100-hour weeks every week. I think you should always bear in mind that entropy is not on your side. I think it is possible for ordinary people to choose to be extraordinary. People should pursue what they're passionate about. That will make them happier than pretty much anything else. Starting and growing a business is as much about the innovation, drive, and determination of the people behind it as the product they sell. Any product that needs a manual to work is broken. Really, the only thing that makes sense is to strive for greater collective enlightenment. You shouldn't do things differently just because they're different. They need to be better. I'm not trying to be anyone's savior. I'm just trying to think about the future and not be sad. Brand is just a perception, and perception will match reality over time. If you get up in the morning and think the future is going to be better, it is a bright day. Life is too short for long-term grudges. Don't be afraid of new arenas. I would like to die on Mars, just not on impact. When Henry Ford made cheap, reliable cars, people said, nah, what's wrong with the horse? People work better when they know what the goal is and why. I don't create companies for the sake of creating companies, but to get things done. Constantly think about how you could be doing things better. If you're entering anything where there's an existing marketplace against large, entrenched competitors, then your product or service needs to be much better than theirs. If you're trying to create a company, it's like baking a cake. You have to have all the ingredients in the right proportion.